Now on CoastTV News.
Car checked, cold coming. We help you get your vehicle ready before we experience freezing conditions.
A pleasant Friday as we await an Arctic front that will send wind chills below zero Saturday morning, setting the stage for a significant winter storm. Updated timing and snowfall totals coming up.
Plus, bracing before big storm. How our first responders are getting ready if they get the call during this projected weather event.
And speech spotlights spending.
I always say that actions speak louder than words.
Why Delaware lawmakers are split on the final year of this General Assembly session following Governor Matt Meyer's State of the State address.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we have a live look at the canal at Lewis. Nothing out of the ordinary now. Troubling weather expected in less than 48 hours. Welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. It is January 23rd, 2026.
Yep.
And it's an exciting one at that.
Yeah, we have arrived. I'd be amiss if I did not acknowledge that we have arrived, are arriving, depending on how you define it. Yeah, we're at the weekend.
And it's an exciting one, at least for Chris. We know he's going to be busy. He's not going to get much sleep this weekend.
I think it's busy. Could be exciting. I mean, I know these weather type folks, they live for these type of big weather events, and we have one coming our way. We're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono now. He is in the Weather Center. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Well, this is Grace wished this, so it's heading our way. And I know a lot of people, a lot of the snow lovers at least, are excited about the impending significant snowstorm that begins to develop Sunday morning. And now here is the latest projections that we have for you. 3 to 6 inches for most of the Delaware coast, right along the 113 corridor down through Ocean City, Assateague Island. 7 to 10 inches for most of western and central Sussex County, in through Georgetown, Seaford, down through Salisbury and into Cambridge. All of the mid-shore also concerned about ice, especially in this sector of the peninsula, as we see that warmer air work in on Sunday. So bitterly cold air arrives tonight. Wind chills are going to be below zero tomorrow morning. Heavy snow, 1 to 2 inch an hour rates Sunday morning for everyone. And then watching for that sleet and freezing rain. Could see ice accumulation up to a ½ an inch in those areas, and then we go to plain rain at the coast. Right now in Cambridge, we are at 27 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We're holding at 26 in Georgetown, 30 in Bethany Beach. We await Arctic air that is basically plowing towards the coast as we speak, and those temperatures are really going to be plunging tonight, and so is the wind chill. Temperatures seasonable today, topping out in the mid-40s under partly cloudy skies. I'll have details on all those bitter wind chills rolling in tomorrow morning, and then the latest timing on our snowstorm coming up later on in the weekend.
And to keep up with Chris, Bob, and our good friend Paul Williams, be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and your tablet ahead of this weekend's storm. In case you didn't know, you can also get CoastTV's streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. We'll have streaming weather updates throughout the weekend, and including a special winter storm coverage newscast from our sister station, WBOC, on Sunday morning starting at 8.
Our top story this hour is the lead up to what is anticipated to be a major weather event this weekend. Now, when it comes to your car, the risk of troubles increase when snow and freezing temperatures take effect.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Milton. Elisa, there are a number of ways to prepare before the storm hits.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are about 48 hours from this expected storm, and now is the time to do all of your preparations if you haven't started yet. As you can see, I've got my snow shovel here. We've also got some salt here as well. If you've not purchased salt or a shovel, make sure you head to the store immediately when they open this morning, because items like this are in high demand. And another thing to add to your list of preparations is making sure that your car is ready for the snow this weekend. We actually spoke with a car mechanic about ways people can prepare for the freezing temperatures. They said that you want to make sure you are checking your battery, tire treads, and washer fluid. And of course, do not go on the roads unless you absolutely have to. It's important to keep those roads open for snow plows, and also it prevents emergencies from happening when there's people driving out there in poor conditions. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. From Milton to Bethany Beach, and the volunteer fire company there is also getting ready for this weekend storm. Deputy Chief Thomas Moore says they feel prepared for whatever the weather may bring. Moore says their plow helps them reach difficult homes in their 15-mile district area, And he says with mutual aid, they cover from the Maryland line up to the Indian River Inlet.
Usually what happens is we'll send the plow first and the ambulance will just follow behind.
As long as the electric stays on, we're good.
Emergency crews are making sure they are ready so they don't have to get ready when this storm hits the coast.
Things to know, health officials in Dorchester County are advising the best ways to avoid frostbite and hypothermia if you must be outside. According to the county health department, the first layer of clothing should be items that keep you dry. The second layer should be made out of fleece or wool, and the agency says the outer layer should be waterproof and wind resistant, ideally with a hood. Dorchester Health Department says that mittens are also better than gloves because they allow you to keep your fingers warm together.
The Wycomico County Health Department is sharing helpful tips for pet owners. Let's take a look at some of those. The agency says they set up a warm, draft-free space inside that is away from windows and prepare a pet emergency kit. Now, when walking dogs, officials advise watching for shivering or lifting paws. The department says smaller and senior dogs need coats and booties. Also, check under car hoods for cats before starting engines.
Delaware Governor Matt Meyer outlined his priorities and accomplishments during his State of the State address on Thursday. The main topics included affordability, housing, healthcare, and rising energy costs. Meyer also highlighted ongoing efforts in education and economic growth amid federal uncertainty. Now, while the speech aimed to set the tone for the year ahead, lawmakers remain divided on how it will shape the session.
I always say that actions speak louder than words. He tried to connect with families that are struggling, yet we've seen the actions of the majority party and himself raising energy prices, raising taxes on people, raising fees for DELDOT and DENREC.
Especially with federal cuts coming down, ensuring that we keep a AAA bond rating, et cetera, is going to be key to our longevity and something that we're very proud of as Democrats who have been able to weather COVID and now looking to weather the federal administration that is taking the hits at states.
The governor also hinted at his proposed budget, saying he plans to request a 5% increase. The budget is set to be presented next week.
And Meyer also took a moment to honor the service and heroism of fallen Delaware State Police Trooper Matthew Ty Snook. Snook was awarded the highest honor in Delaware, the Order of the First State. Trooper Scott Smith was also given the governor's award for heroism and bravery for his actions that day. Snook was shot and killed just 2 days before Christmas at the Wilmington DMV.
New this morning, the Lewis Board of Public Works is responding to questions about elevated lead levels found during routine drinking water testing last year. BPW says 10 water samples were collected across the service area in late September. 2 samples exceeded the action level for lead, and the other samples or property owners will be notified within 24 hours of the lab results. Those remaining 8 samples all met federal standards. And to learn more about where elevated levels were found and what the Lewis BPW plans to do next, head to the article on our website, coasttv.com.
And we're now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Former Special Counsel Jack Smith told the House Judiciary Committee on Thursday that he stands by his decision to bring charges against President Trump. That was back in 2023. And this was during his first public testimony before Congress.
Republicans say the probe was politically driven, leading to raised voices and angry clashes. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how lawmakers are divided over the actions of the former special counsel.
In a sometimes combative hearing on Capitol Hill, former special counsel Jack Smith standing by his past investigations into President Trump.
Our investigation developed proof beyond a reasonable doubt that President Trump engaged in criminal activity.
The 2 federal cases on the president's handling of classified documents and interference in the 2020 election results, both scrapped before he re-entered the White House. But Republican anger over what they believe was unfair targeting continues.
It was always about politics. And to get President Trump, they were willing to do just about anything.
Democrats rejecting that.
For us, it's all about the rule of law and who's going to stand by the rule of law and who's going to oppose it.
While on social media, President Trump called Smith deranged and said, quote, hopefully the Attorney General is looking at what he's done.
Do you believe that President Trump's Department of Justice will find some way to indict you?
I believe that they will do everything in their power to do that because they've been ordered to by the president.
Smith adding,
I will not be intimidated.
Republicans also accuse Smith of spying on GOP lawmakers for seeking their phone records.
The egregious abuse of power.
Smith said the records that did not include content of calls were necessary to determine the president's contacts during allegations he sought to delay the January 6th election certification.
My office didn't spy on anyone.
Police officers injured defending the Capitol on January 6th were in the room and visibly frustrated throughout the hearing. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening today, the proposed Bellhaven Hotel coming to Rehoboth Beach looks to continue progress towards construction. According to the city, a public hearing will review a request to consolidate several lots into one. City documents say these lots are located on Surf Avenue, Rehoboth Avenue, and Wilmington Avenue. And according to the city, the plans were approved with conditions. The hearing takes place today at 1:30 p.m.
Also happening today, Bethany Beach leaders are set to provide several updates at its Stormwater and Flooding Committee meeting. According to the agenda, officials will review a new requirement from DNREC for a shoreline public access plan. This covers public access to the beaches. The committee is set to give more updates on the Loop Canal bulkhead project, and that meeting is set for today at 2 p.m.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, Salisbury secures more flights. We'll tell you how one airline prepares to expand its offerings.
Also, cold weather on the coast. We'll show you how emergency agencies are preparing.
Still ahead, TikTok determines deal, what this means for the Chinese-owned social media app. And First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono is in the Weather Center. Plenty on his plate this morning with that developing storm. And we check in with him next.
Hope this Friday morning is treating you well, Delmarva. We have significant snow heading our way. It arrives overnight Saturday through Sunday morning, expecting a general 3 to 6 inches across the Delaware coast down through Maryland and Virginia. 7 to 10 inches a swath from Millsboro down through Georgetown, Seaford, Milford, in through Harrington, Salisbury, all along portions of the midshore, along with ice accumulation on top of that as we go into Sunday afternoon. We're holding at 23 degrees in Lewis, so a chilly start to the day as most areas are in the low to mid 20s under partly cloudy skies. We await an Arctic front that's going to be pushing through this evening in through Saturday morning, bringing some bitterly cold air. So enjoy the seasonable temperatures this afternoon, because we are going to talk about wind chills as low as -8 by Saturday morning. I'll have more on that and our winter storm here in a few minutes.
Salisbury University will begin the spring semester virtually on Monday, January 26th. It's according to a Facebook post. The university says in-person classes will move to virtual through Friday, January 30th. In-person classes will resume on Monday, February 2nd. Move-in for new students and January orientation will also occur virtually on Saturday. Here this morning, people in Berlin will soon have a chance to weigh in on plans for a new bike and pedestrian bridge over Route 113. According to the town, the project is part of the Reconnecting Communities and Neighborhoods grant. Community input meetings are scheduled for February 11th and 12th. Attendees are able to review and discuss possible bridge locations, including Old Ocean City Boulevard, Bay Street, and Germantown Road.
The U.S. and TikTok's Chinese parent company have officially finalized a deal that spins off the app's U.S. assets to a group of American investors. The transaction now wraps up a long process that began with President Donald Trump in his first term. At the time, he vowed to ban the app over national security concerns. Thursday's announcement comes just one day before the deadline Trump gave to finalize the deal, which TikTok signed last month. And several airlines are allowing passengers to rebook or cancel flights ahead of this weekend's winter storm prediction for more than half of the country. United, Delta, American, and Southwest Airlines are offering options for customers to change plans if they were scheduled to travel over the next few days. The carriers are also looking at waiving rebooking fees as long as the rescheduled travel plans take place within a specific amount of days.
It's a dry and seasonable Friday here on Delmarva as we await Arctic air that's going to be barreling into the area. We expect sub-zero wind chills by Saturday morning as we await our significant winter storm on Sunday. I'll have the latest details on Coast TV News Today. Comes right back.
Time is 6:19 and we are giving you a live look at the early morning scene at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. Now in a moment we will have that QR code on the screen. Use that to get our First Alert Weather app for your phones. You really will need that for the upcoming days, Chris.
Oh yes, by Sunday we're going to have quite a range in precipitation and temperature across the peninsula as we go into Sunday. So here's the latest snowfall projections as we go into Sunday morning through Monday morning. 3 to 6 inches for most of a southeastern portion of Sussex County from Rehoboth down through Ocean City, in through Assateague and Chickateague, then through Snow Hill. 7 to 10 inches for southwestern portions of Sussex County, all of Kent and the mid-shore, and then you see over a foot of snow from Newcastle County on northward. Winter storm watches are up. These will likely be upgraded to warnings today. Those kick into effect Saturday night through Monday morning. Look at that snow breaking out into early Sunday morning, and this snow is going to come down in a hurry. 1 to 2 inch an hour snowfall rates as we go into Sunday, and it's snowing everywhere. But notice as we go into the afternoon, that warmer air filters in off the Atlantic. Temperatures get above freezing. Even lower 40s are possible, especially from Ocean City on southward. But notice the pink you see there along the mid-shore. That is a concern because that warmer air, well, it makes it inland, but aloft, not at the surface. So temperatures are going to stay below freezing there. So we're looking at a prolonged period of sleet and freezing rain, which could lead to ice accumulation on top of the forecasted snowfall totals. So there you see that ice sector that we're concerned about from Cambridge through Denton into Dover. Could see upwards of a ½ an inch of ice on top of that snow. Ice, not thinking that's going to be much of a concern through much of Sussex County. 24 right now in Laurel, holding at 25 in Longneck, 25 in Bridgeville. We have just a few high thin clouds across the area at this moment. We stay dry, but that cold Arctic air is barreling southward, and you can see it sinking across the country. -6 in Chicago, -21, and that is not a wind chill. 44 across much of the area, so seasonably a cool day across the area as we await that drop in temperature coming in tonight. Now we have a cold weather advisory that kicks into effect at midnight, runs through 10 a.m. on Saturday for the threat of wind chills as low as 8 below zero. And this is for the entire Delmarva Peninsula, feeling like 5 in Seaford, 4 below in Milton, and feeling like 2 below in Dewey Beach. So the Arctic air sets the stage for our significant winter storm, and that snow arrives in the pre-dawn hours of Sunday, comes down quite heavy, and then we see that transition to ice along the mid-shore, just a plain rain at the coast through Sunday afternoon, through Sunday evening, a few lingering snow showers in the Monday, and then it is just brutally cold into early and middle part of next week. We stay dry, no storms, but we don't get above that freezing mark as we go into the middle part of next week, and overnight lows in the single digits.
Officials in Ocean City say they are ready with buckets of salt, chainsaws to clear roadways in case branches fall. They have their cars fueled. The department also has specialized suits they wear in case someone or something needs help in the water.
The town of Ocean City planning ahead of the storm, sending out a public notice advising people to prepare their homes and their cars before the storm, urging drivers to avoid travel as much as possible and to stay off those icy roads after the storm hits.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what part of winter weather worries you the most. So let's take a look at the updated results.
We haven't had much change since our last hour. Many people still saying that power outages are the biggest concern. That's followed up by a tie between bad roads and digging out. And last but not least, some cold temperatures. So we do have a comment from Dale in Georgetown. Matt
says he's really worried about those trees falling, and that's why I think we see a large number of people voting for power outages. That usually tends to be a cause for that. If you haven't voted yet, you can still do so on our Coast TV website and our mobile app. Again, be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and tablet ahead of this weekend storm. You know, you can also get the Coast TV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. We will stream weather updates throughout the weekend, including a special winter storm coverage newscast from our sister station, WBOC, on Sunday morning. That starts at 8.
And after the break on Coast TV News today, there's still fun to be had this weekend, even with winter weather on its way. Stay tuned for some cool things to do. Flights from Salisbury to Orlando will ramp up just in time for summer. Starting in April, Breeze Airways will offer 3 flights per week. Right now, the airline offers just 2. That's on Mondays and Fridays. And that news, coupled with the ongoing runway expansion project and talks about expanding the airport's parking lot, is why local officials believe the airport is headed in the right direction.
We're doing well this Friday morning, Delmarva, as we await our significant winter storm this weekend. Our projected snowfall totals show 3 to 6 inches, basically east of 113, and areas just a little to the west of that into Snow Hill, Ocean City. 7 to 10 inches for a good bit of Sussex County through Georgetown, Seaford, and Salisbury, encompassing all of the mid-shore. And you can see over a foot across Newcastle County on points northward. Also concerned about ice accumulation on the mid-shore. We're at 23 in Lewis. Enjoy the day today. It's a seasonably cool day through Ocean City, Fenwick Island under partly cloudy skies. We get up into the lower to mid-40s through Lewis and Rehoboth as we await an Arctic front that's going to bring sub-zero wind chills into the area tonight through Saturday morning. Congratulations to Linda Kroger, Georgetown, Delaware, winning an umbrella from Coast TV. I'll have more on the winter storm headed our way in the next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, a lot of events planned for this weekend are now being put on hold due to the forecast.
Yeah, but as Christina DiRoberto shows us, that doesn't mean you have to sit inside and wait for the snow to have some fun. Here are this week's cool things to do.
So everything I was going to tell you about for cool things this week is now canceled because if you don't know by now, it's going to snow this weekend. So I decided to compile a list of cool things to do in the snow.
First up, build a snowman. It's a classic snow activity. You probably have everything you need already, some buttons, a carrot, a hat, a scarf, and you don't have to build a giant snowman, just build a little one. Another classic, snow angels. You can also have a friendly snowball fight. Or not friendly, that's up to you. And there's not too many hills here in southern Delaware, but if you find one, you can go sledding. Or you can build an igloo if you're feeling ambitious. It's time-consuming, it's hard work, but everyone will think it's super cool. And if you need any advice, just email Charlie Sakaitis. Rumor has it he once lived in an igloo in Alaska. If you're young and able, shovel your neighbor's driveway. Or watch Coast TV because we'll be out in the snow all weekend.
So if you get bored this weekend and you need a refresher, you can find this list over on coasttv.com under cool things to do.
Now on Coast TV News.
A pleasant Friday as we await an Arctic front that will send wind chills below 0 Saturday morning, setting the stage for a significant winter storm. Updated timing and snowfall totals coming up.
Car checked, cold coming. We help you get your vehicle ready before we experience freezing conditions.
Plus, responders ready resources. What prep is underway to ensure can get to an emergency during the weather event.
And tribute to Trooper. How Delaware Governor Matt Meyer honored Corporal Matthew Ty Snook during the State of the State address.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And here's a live look at the early morning scene off of 45th Street in Ocean City in the Isle of Wight Bay. All is calm right now. 48 hours from now, however, we are expecting a very different situation. It's January 23rd, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Ackerley. Thank you for joining us on this Friday.
6:33 a.m. and we both have indoor cats.
We do.
And in our house, when we get snow storms, we bring in a little bit of snow just to see how they react to it.
This is a little look. If you don't know what Matt's talking about, this is someone online who brought in some snow for their cats to play in.
Look at
Matt,
that.
do you think that your cats would enjoy the snow? Would they like
to go outside?
Leaving a little paw print out there?
I don't think so. I think they are quite comfortable inside.
They
just a little
enjoy-
bit of the curiosity. Hey, what's that?
I
But,
think the Pensick Palace is just too nice and
Too
warm and
nice,
cozy
warm,
in there.
yeah.
And with the snow that Chris is telling us about this weekend, we're getting that then. 48 hours away, I'm hearing. But it's awfully chilly today.
Oh my goodness. And what about tomorrow, Chris? You got a lot going on there. Let's get to Chris in the Weather Center. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yeah, we have some bitterly cold air pushing in tonight, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But here is our projected snowfall totals. And yes, there's been a wide range of snow maps floating around out there on TV and on the internet. But this is the latest thinking right now, 3 to 6 inches for most of the Delaware coast down through Ocean City in through Snow Hill, 7 to 10 inches for most of western Sussex County, encompassing Seaford, Georgetown, Milford, Harrington, down through Salisbury, all of the mid-shore. Also a growing concern is ice, primarily across the mid-shore as we go into Sunday afternoon through Sunday night. So the bitterly cold air rolls in, sets the stage. Snowfall rates 1 to 2 inches an hour for everybody Sunday. Then we're looking at that ice accumulation along the midshore. Could see upwards of 1/4 to near 1/2 an inch. And then we see that snow change to rain at the beaches. Right now we are at 24 in Laurel under partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are holding in the mid-20s. We await that Arctic air back off to the west, so enjoy seasonably cool temperatures today under partly cloudy skies. I'll talk about that sub-zero wind chill into Saturday morning and more on the winter storm here in a few minutes.
And to keep up with our predictions, be sure to download the CoastTV app for your phone and your tablet ahead of this weekend's storm. In case you didn't know, you can also get CoastTV streaming apps for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. We'll stream weather updates throughout the weekend and include a special winter storm coverage newscast from our sister station WBOC on Sunday morning starting at 8. The risk of car troubles increases when it's snowing and freezing temperatures are taking effect, which has many wondering what they can do to prepare for the worst.
Our Lisa Weber live in Milton with a look at ways to prepare before the storm hits. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are about 48 hours out from that snowstorm we are expecting to hit Delmarva, and now is the time to prepare if you haven't started yet. As you can see right here, I've got my shovel. We've also got our salt over here. These two items are in high demand with this storm coming, so if you haven't grabbed them yet, make sure you head to the store early this morning is probably the best. And another thing to check before this storm is your car. You want to make sure it is ready for these freezing temperatures. And we actually spoke to a mechanic about what people should do ahead of this weekend. They said you want to make sure you check your battery, tire treads, and washer fluids. We also went to Coastal Towing in Lewis, who tells us when they see the most accidents on the road.
For the most part, people do stay in during the major event. It's when things slow down, the roads start to get cleared out. They do start venturing out because they're bored or just want to go for a ride and see things. That's when our incidents start piling up.
And according to Crawl, they are already getting ready for this weekend, and they do expect an increase in calls during the storm. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. In Milton, the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company is also getting ready for this weekend's storm. Deputy Chief Thomas Moore says they feel prepared for whatever the weather may bring. Moore says their plows help them reach difficult homes in their 15-mile district area. Moore says with mutual aid, they cover from the Maryland line up to the Indian River Inlet. Emergency crews are making sure they are ready so they don't have to get ready when the storm hits the coast.
New this morning, the Delaware Emergency Management Agency is reminding people to take time to check in on elderly neighbors. The agency says ways people can help are to clear walkways, check heating systems, and make sure emergency contact information is shared. According to DEMA, people can also offer help with groceries or medication if needed. The new overnight, dozens of states are facing weather advisories, watches, or warnings.
And at least 10 have already declared a state of emergency. Reid Binion showing us how parts of the U.S. are preparing to face the brunt of the severe weather ahead.
You think about travel, you think of the dangers outside. This, like you were saying, this is a triple impact.
A menacing storm with a massive footprint is set to hit more than half of the country with a potentially historic blast of ice and snow.
Half the country's population is going to see some sort of winter weather impact.
Some areas in the storm's path already dealing with crippling conditions. It all starts Friday in the plains, where the storm's massive pool of moist air begins to clash with Arctic air. Bone-chilling temperatures pushing the storm eastward.
We have about 70
1,000 tons of salt ready to go and our 275 plows.
Major cities in the Northeast could get their largest snowfall in at least 4 years. That includes New York, where officials are mounting a massive battle plan to prepare all 5 boroughs. Southern states are bracing for destructive ice from freezing rain, the storm's most serious threat, one that could cause extended power outages.
It's just entirely premature for them to be able to know how many people will lose power.
Ice could also make roads very hazardous.
Latest forecasts show a widespread event that's likely to spread ice throughout the state of North Carolina.
Air travel will also likely be impacted. Airlines including American, Delta, Southwest, and United have put out travel advisories and are letting customers rebook or cancel travel scheduled over the next several days. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
We are now taking a live look into Washington, D.C. this Friday morning as former special counsel Jack Smith told the House Judiciary Committee on Thursday that he stands by his decision to charge President Trump. This in his first public testimony before Congress about his investigations into President Trump. Some Republicans repeated Trump's claims that Trump has been unfairly targeted. Democrats supported Smith, pointing to statements from Republican lawmakers in the moments after the January 6, 2021 attack that placed at least some blame for the riot at Trump's feet.
Delaware Governor Matt Meyer outlined his priorities and highlighted accomplishments during his State of the State address Thursday. The main topics included affordability, housing, health care, and rising energy costs. Meyer also focused on efforts in education and economic growth amid federal uncertainty. The governor also hinted at his proposed budget, saying he plans to request a 5% increase, and that budget could get presented next week.
The governor also took a moment to honor the service and heroism of fallen Delaware State Trooper Matthew Ty Snook. Snook was awarded the highest honor in Delaware, the First Order of the First State. Trooper Scott Smith was also given the governor's award for heroism and bravery for his actions that day. Snook was shot and killed just 2 days before Christmas at the Wilmington DMV.
Happening today, the proposed Bellhaven Hotel coming to Rehoboth Beach looks to continue progress towards construction. According to the city, a public hearing will review a request to consolidate several lots into one. And city documents say these lots are located on Surf Avenue, Rehoboth Avenue, and Wilmington Avenue. According to the city, the plans were approved with conditions. And that hearing takes place today at 1:30 p.m.
New this morning, the Lewis Board of Public Works is responding to questions about elevated lead levels found during routine drinking water testing last year. BPW says 10 water samples were collected across the service area in late September, and 2 samples exceeded the action level for lead. BPW says that property owners were notified within 24 hours of the lab results, and the remaining 8 samples met federal standards.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, UMES storm plans, how the university plans to change class schedules for next week.
Also anticipated wrestling match, 2 of the best in Delaware in the Hell Open Conference. And they go at it tonight. DSN previews Cesar Rodney's upcoming trip to Cape. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. All eyes on Sunday has an eye-impact winter storm is set to hit the area. 3 to 6 inches for most of the Delaware and Maryland coasts, 7 to 10 inches further inland of most of western Sussex County and through Salisbury and all of the mid-shore. Also, growing concern is ice accumulation, especially along the mid-shore and points north as we get into Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening. We're holding at 23 degrees in Lewis, so it's a rather chilly start to the day. 25 in Georgetown, 26 degrees in Cambridge. Now, the Arctic front still back off to the west, and that cold air is going to be filtering into the region as we go into the night tonight. Seasonably cool temperatures today, mid-40s across the area under partly cloudy skies, and we take a big nosedive. Temperature and wind chill feeling like -8 by tomorrow morning. I'll have more on that here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. New this morning, University of Maryland Eastern Shore leaders are announcing changes ahead of the expected winter weather this weekend. UMES says all classes for the week of January 26th through January 30th will be held virtually. Residence hall move-ins are being delayed until next weekend, and staff will work remotely during the week. Essential workers will continue their campus duties.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In Lewis, DSN returns to the wrestling mats. We found ourselves in Laurel Wednesday when the Bulldogs squeaked by Woodbridge by 4 and stayed undefeated in the Henlopen South. But tonight it's a duel up north. And of course you can catch it live on DSN. But why should you tune in? Because last time these two teams played, it was a little unpredictable. Caesar Rodney at home last February. They took down Cape Henlopen for the first time in 4 tries, bucking a trend, 3 straight losses on the mats to the Vikings. And this year, there's a very good chance that CR can start a winning streak against Cape Henlopen because they're 4-1 on the season. And their lone loss, not even to Henlopen competition, it was all the way back in 2025 when Caesar Rodney lost to a behemoth from way up north in Delaware in Silesiana. But it's still been a good season for the Cape Vikings. They're a little more battle-tested against lower Delaware competition in the Henlopen. They are 9-4 on the season. As we said, they're hosting this duel. They've got some phenomenal wrestlers, right? I mean, Austin Guerreri with over 100 career wins, Nick Walker, a War on the Shore champ. It should be must-watch. Have a great day, Delmarva.
And coming up tonight on DSN, as you just saw, at 6, that big wrestling match, Cape hosting Caesar Rodney. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. Now, along with that Cape wrestling match, here's what you can watch exclusively on DSN Plus. At 4:30, Indian River faces Sussex Tech in wrestling. And then at 5, Middletown visits Apo in girls basketball.
And here's what we can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good one so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us today at 4 for some Coast Life, here's what's coming your way. You can't resist the sweetness of this adorable face. We've got our pet of the week. Also, for a Friday, we've got some winners of the week and some awards to dole out. All of that and so much more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Well, not too bad of an afternoon. We'll get up into the mid-40s, and that's ahead of some brutally cold air that's going to be filtering in tonight. Wind chills below 0, setting the stage for a high-impact winter storm on Sunday. I'll have the latest when CoastTV News Today continues.
And the time is now 6:50 a.m. So we're taking a live look outside to Laurel. A beautiful sunrise today. Chris,
Nice.
Like we mentioned earlier, this is the calm before the storm. And what a nice view we get to wake up to on this Friday morning.
It is indeed, and it's also the calm before we see some bitterly cold wind chills. That's going to precurse our snowstorm that's coming in Sunday morning. And these are our estimated snowfall totals so far. 3 to 6 inches for much of the Delaware coast, down through much of the Virginia and Maryland coasts, pretty much through the 113 corridor. And then we see 7 to 10 inches western Sussex County into Salisbury. Also, the threat of ice. That is a growing concern as we see that warmer air filter into the area Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening. Prolonged period of ice is a concern for portions of the midshore. Now, we have winter storm watches up. These go into effect Saturday night. These are most likely going to be upgraded to warnings today, and that encompasses the entire peninsula. Snow races in here early Sunday morning before daybreak, and that snow will be coming down quite heavily. 1 to 2 inch an hour snowfall rates for virtually everybody. But notice the temperatures at the coast. They begin to creep up as that warmer air filters in off the Atlantic, and we get above freezing. Even lower 40s are possible at the coast. But notice the pink to the west along the midshore. That is a growing concern. You notice that rain doesn't go into the midshore. We stay sleet and freezing rain, and that is a concern on top of the snow that's going to be falling. And then that rain will continue at the coast at least through Sunday night. And then we see that cold air wrap around the storm as it pushes off to the northeast. And we're just looking at cold, blustery conditions into the day on Monday. There's that icing concern through Cambridge up through Denton, Dover. Could see upwards of a ½ inch of ice, so that is a growing concern that we're going to be keeping a close eye on over the next few days. 26 in Cambridge, we're at 25 Millsboro, 23 in Redding. Just a few high thin clouds over the area. We await this Arctic air that's still back off to the west. This Arctic high is going to be sliding eastward, and check out some of these temperatures. 21 degrees is below 0 is the temperature there in Minneapolis. Partly cloudy skies. Seasonably cool day. We'll get up to 46 in Georgetown, 44 in Lewis. And that's the cold weather advisory. That's due in part to wind chills anywhere between -1 to -8 as we go into Saturday morning. And there's those those futurecast wind chills. Feels like -5 Ellendale, -2 in Bethany, and then it'll feel like 0 in Ocean City come tomorrow morning. Doesn't get any better by the afternoon, and we stay dry and cloudy through the day tomorrow as we await the snow that breaks out Sunday morning, transitioning to sleet and freezing rain at the mid-shore. All rain at the coast once we get that initial burst of snow. A few morning showers, snow showers on Monday, and then just bitterly cold into early next week. Matt.
Thank you, Chris, and be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone and tablet ahead of this weekend's storm. And in case you didn't know, you can also get the Coast TV streaming app for your TV with devices like Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. We will stream weather updates throughout the weekend, including a special winter storm coverage newscast from our sister station, WBOC, and that is on Sunday morning starting at 8.
And the time's now 6:53 a.m. Matt, it's time to check in with our adoptable coastal pet of the day.
Yeah, Fridays we feature those from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. So this hour on your screen we have Gunther. Kind of reminds me of the WWE superstar Gunther.
Everything reminds me of
know
WWE.
It does. But this guy, unlike the WWE guy, is a sweet boy. He's a gentle giant who is often a couch potato. He loves his long walks on the trail and loves back scratches. So if you want to adopt Gunther or Luke, check out Luke from last hour, or any other lovable pet, head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
And they are both great additions to any family, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva, especially if you adopt Luke or Gunther. You can send us photos, tell us what makes your pet so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Yeah, scan that QR code at the top to get your friend to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. Now, with some serious weather this weekend, I'll say it for now, let's just have ourselves a Friday, everybody.
Yeah, and make the best of it today because we're going to have seasonable temperatures in the 40s. But yes, this is going to be rolling in Sunday morning, expecting 3 to 6 inches from Rehoboth down to Ocean View and through Fenwick Island, all of Ocean City, Ocean Pines, 7 to 10 inches for most of western Sussex County in through the midshore, expecting heavy snow by Sunday morning, transitioning to sleet and freezing rain for the midshore, transitioning to rain at the coast. We see a few lingering snow showers into Monday, and then look at some of those overnight lows into early next week, single digits, and we may not get above the freezing mark from Monday through next Saturday.
Oh, Chris, sounds cold. Well, thank you so much for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And have a great Friday morning, everybody.